Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. We're filming this or recording this on the no film involved, but recording this on the 4th of July weekend. And I'm Mike. Along with me is my brother Ron. Just Ron. This is season 3, episode 20, number 110. We just
Wow.
keep turning them out, Ron. And look,
Yeah.
I
All
got
right.
an Ellis Island mug in
Cool.
commemoration of Independence Day. And we're talking about an independent topic. We're talking about actors. You think of a lot of folks think of actors as people who figured out a way to get by on their good looks, but some actors have figured out how to get by on their not so great looks. And
Yeah.
we're going to
Which
talk
gives
about this.
hope to us.
Yeah, yeah. Just well, I was looking at some actors that are well known for not having actor like looks, and I think they're these type of actors, these character actors that have the real character faces, I think they really have figured it out way better than most of the handsome and beautiful folks that go out to Hollywood.
They get to have
Anybody?
more fun.
Oh my gosh! If you're sitting right now at home and thinking to yourself, I'd like to try that Hollywood game. Number one, uh, if you're kind of different looking, even odd or strange looking, Hollywood's almost certainly going to take some notice of you. And
True.
they don't mind using you over and over again. Most of these folks we're going to talk about, I guess all of them, just worked
Yeah.
continuously for
Hmm.
decades in
Yeah.
Hollywood. And as long as you're happy taking second banana paychecks, you can make up for it with volume. And
Yeah.
who's the first person that sprang to mind when you were making out your list of folks we were going to talk
Well, I've got quite a few here, but I'll just start with them in order as I've got them written down, and I'll go with one that you see a lot here recently. Wallace Shawn. He was, the professor that in Young Sheldon, and he's also known for his most famous line in The Princess Bride: "Inconceivable."
about.
Everybody goes,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
that guy."
I know
Oh,
exactly
and
who you're talking about.
he's still, he's got a movie out right now, which of course is Toy Toy Story 5.
So,
That
yeah,
comes with
voice
toy.
actor. Pretty well
Yeah,
known voice.
he's Rex the dinosaur and has been in every single one of them.
So many of these actors with a face not made for Hollywood, they not only have distinctive faces, they have distinctive voices. And if you're once again sitting there with a distinctive face, a nose out to here, or maybe even some missing teeth, or one side of your face has a big knot on it, or a birthmark, or something like that.
Or you
Uh,
look like Danny DeVito.
oh my gosh, yeah. There we go. There's our Danny DeVito mention.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there.
We're the world's smallest Danny DeVito fan club. But
Hey,
think
a
about it.
tidbit about Wallace Shawn, real quick. He's a playwright, pretty prolific. Not a lot of real known stuff, but here's one thing a lot of people might know that he wrote a movie he wrote in 1981, My Dinner with Andre.
Oh no,
He
he
wrote
did
that
not
and
write
starred in
that.
it. Yeah,
I've heard of it. I've never been brave enough to try to watch it, but
yeah, he wrote that. But
I'm not
anyway,
sure that impresses me. But, my
that's
first
Wallace
guy,
Shawn.
I brought some pics here. I don't know if we can make them out, but the first guy I wanted to talk about, it goes way back, black and white days. Um, Gabby Hayes,
Yes.
the character actor, pretty ugly dude who was the way I primarily knew him was he was a sidekick character.
Mhm.
He came from the days of sidekicks, which has kind of disappeared. You don't really have the sidekick anymore too much. But back in the old West days, every hero, Roy Rogers, uh, uh, the Gene Autry, um,
Robin.
I was trying to think. Hopalong Cassidy was one I was trying to
Yeah.
think of. Uh, they all had these
Festus.
sidekick. They always had these sidekick characters that they, for comic relief, and they usually even
Mhm.
weren't particularly handy with a gun. Yeah. Well, I guess the last vestige carried over to TV. The Barney Fife with Andy Griffith was a
Yeah.
sidekick character, and once again Barney Fife, not the uh, um, not the most. Oh, Barney Fife was a character, but Don
Yeah,
Knotts was
not
certainly
nuts.
not the
Yeah,
most handsome man in Hollywood. But comics tend to not be
yeah.
incredibly
Well,
handsome
his
anyway.
character was always he was not good looking, but boy, he was confident.
Yeah, right. But Gabby Hayes was just constantly working for decades. He was on television. He was in movies. He was a sidekick to anybody who wanted a sidekick. He wasn't just limited to
Yeah.
Roy Rogers, although I think Roy Rogers is where he really made his name. But, I saw a guy in the grocery store like a year ago,
Hmm.
and he apparently was a Gabby Hayes fan because he was dressed just like him and he was chewing out the checkout person. So he was kind of acting like Gabby Hayes as well. And just everybody was a little embarrassed, but the guy calmed down finally. But he definitely had the Gabby Hayes look. So there's somebody out there that thinks the Gabby Hayes look is still worth emulating. That's for sure. What's another one that we should know? Your first one was a knockout. You just hit out.
Well, the comedy legend who didn't really become a legend until he was older, at the end of his career, and that's the great Jerry Stiller.
Oh, true, true, true.
Very
And
kind of
Jerry's,
weird looking, goofy looking little guy, and
yeah,
him and his wife had a comedy team for years, and he worked for years and years and years.
and Marilyn.
But boy, when he played Frank Costanza on Seinfeld, man, that was into the upper deck, man. I mean, he
Well,
became
he was
huge.
also on. What was the show he was a regular on?
That was after Seinfeld was off. Um, the guy who plays on King of Queens, I can't remember.
King of Queens. King of Queens.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
right.
he begged Jerry Stiller he was going to retire, and he
Right.
begged him to be on his show. He goes, because if you're not on it, it's not going to be a hit. That's what he told him. And he played. Let's see, what was the name? Arthur Spooner. And he
He's
went
Ben
from
Stiller's
being the
dad.
angry man to just being the little weird guy, on there, because he was just strange on that
Yeah.
show.
So once again, somebody and he's not the same character without his. In fact, Seinfeld, all the older characters on Seinfeld had unique looks that come in
They
handy.
were all character type actors.
Yeah, when you're looking for a sidekick character or a supporting character, you don't normally go, "Hey, give me somebody that looks like Robert Redford." You just don't do that. Give me somebody that looks like you slammed a door in their face 75 times. Here's mine.
All right.
Bruce Dern.
Oh, great one.
Wouldn't Bruce Dern be maybe the king of this category? I'm kind of thinking. I've got to see if I've got a picture of Bruce Dern here. Here we go.
He's not on my list, but I've got the king of this category. He's not one on my list, but there's no way Steve Buscemi isn't the king of this category.
There's Bruce Dern. Oh yeah, Bruce Dern is unusual. He had that unusual look. He had those long teeth, and he, for years, was established and maybe typecast as a bad guy on mostly TV westerns. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he played psychopathic.
He was on lunatic in movies and stuff.
He was on Gunsmoke with the wild hair and the poor posture and the sneaky way of delivering a line. I don't think you're as smart as you think you are, buddy. And you just hated him. And Ron, he was such a good bad guy with the seedy looks and the sneaky looks. Oh, he looked like a human snake. He killed John Wayne in The Cowboy.
Yeah. Only guy who ever killed John Wayne in a movie other than the Alamo.
John Wayne. Well, the shootist. He died.
Yeah, that's right. He did die.
But that was the first. At that time, never had happened, and he murdered John Wayne basically in cold blood after torturing him, and that's the kind of guy he was. And then Bruce Dern.
That was in The Cowboys.
Well, Ron, I would put Bruce Dern in a category all by himself because despite his ability to project and turn himself into this seedy character that he just played over and over again, he turned his career around and he became
Yeah.
a leading man.
Hmm.
And he was nominated for Oscars. He was known for a movie called Coming Home,
Hmm.
which was based on things that happened, to people during the Vietnam era. And
Yeah.
then as late as
With John
2013,
Boyd. Yeah.
yeah, as late as 2013, he he played it was a character study, and the movie itself was kind of, I have to remind myself of the title, but I saw it, Nebraska,
Yeah.
just this very bleak character study of somebody that's trying to survive in the world, and there's a lot of those kinds of movies around. They're not usually big hits, but boy, people took note of his acting ability and the performance
Yeah.
he turned in. And you just don't see these sidekick guys or these bad guys, these
Mm.
heavies shift over into good guys very often and shift
Yeah.
over into leading men very often. But Bruce Dern pulled it off. And by the way, Laura Dern,
Buscemi does it as well.
yeah,
He's
it's
a kid that's become a leading guy a lot of times.
oh my gosh, it's so funny how
Yeah.
these guys that basically are ugly actors
Yeah.
churn out these really good-looking kids. Ben Stiller's son. Ben Stiller is a good, solid-looking guy, and Laura
Yeah.
Dern, my gosh, she's beautiful, and
Yeah.
always has been, still is. So anyway, that's one of those guys that played on his bad looks to make it in Hollywood. What's one of yours?
Okay. Here's a classic freak guy. One of my old favorites. And when I had a beard, weirdly enough, with my googly Popeye eye that I got a few years back, uh, I look a lot like him when I have a beard, and that's Jack Elam.
Jack Elam.
Ugh.
Wouldn't he be on everybody's list?
Yeah.
Um,
He's actually in the let's see, what is it? The Hall of Fame. He is in the. Let me get my glasses. I'm having a hard time reading what I wrote here. The Hall of Great Western Performers, inducted in 1994.
Jack Elam.
And of
I
course,
don't.
he played the heavies, and then toward the end of his career, when he did it so much that it kind of became a cliche, he turned it into a comedic thing,
Right.
because he was in a couple of movies with James Garner, Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter. He was in that
Right.
in a comedic role. And of course, what a lot of people know him for is the wacky proctologist in Cannonball Run. Keep holding up his middle finger and going, "Woman examiner."
I didn't pull up a picture of Jack Elam because there's
Where he goes, here it is, right here.
well, he was
That's pretty
usually
much
smiling.
it.
He was usually smiling, but it was a crooked grin.
Yeah.
And now he's one of these character actors that his name became well known.
Yeah.
That isn't always the case, but
He was on every cowboy show on TV. I mean, I was going to list a few, but I'm like, that's just all of them. Just say all of them. He was on every one of them.
oh
As
sure.
a bad guy.
And I mean, I do remember seeing things where he was more of a. He never played better than a neutral character.
Yeah.
He might be the guy that owned the saloon, and he just kind of stood by as the
Mhm.
bad guys came in and took over the town, and
Yeah.
maybe told a lie to the sheriff to cover for him or something. He played a lot of roles like that too, where because he was very rarely even the lead bad guy. He was
Yeah.
more commonly the assistant or one of the gang. He's
Like
just the guy
lieutenant or
that.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I always played real interesting characters. And if you don't know Jack Elam, his last name is spelled Elam. Just look him up.
Yeah.
You'll go, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
The one that leapt to mind when you were talking about this category was to me was Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah. He's
Trejo. I think I'm pronouncing his right name correctly.
Trejo, I believe.
Trejo. And
Trejo? Okay.
what are you saying? How are
I
you
thought
saying
it was
his
Danny Trejo. I thought
Trejo? It might be Trejo.
Yeah, I think so.
But he's I don't know if he's actually Hispanic, but he plays a lot of Hispanic characters, and he's just the guy that his face he's just got a scarred face. He's a big guy with a scarred face and a big face, and I mean, he always played bad guys. I don't know if I ever
Well,
saw him not playing a bad
he
guy.
has a rider in his contract. Very interesting, and it's that in every movie or TV show he's in, his character must either A, die, or B, be arrested and sent to prison, or
Wow.
he will not take part.
Wow.
Reason being, all right, he actually was in prison, spent
Right.
some time in prison, and he just, when he was in, and turned his life around, it's big to him that he does not ever want to be known for glorifying crime or to children especially. So
Yeah.
he says he always plays a bad guy. So he says, if I'm playing a bad guy, he must be punished
Hmm. Hmm.
or he will not do it.
Well, no,
So all his
that's
characters always die and they always go to jail every time.
that's a. I had never heard that, but that's an
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting thing to know about him. And I have seen some
Yeah, he's a
interviews
good
with him.
dude.
Yeah, I have seen some interviews with him, and
Yeah.
you may not agree with everything he says, but he's definitely somebody who has
A
morals.
moral
Has
compass. Yeah.
has a plan in mind,
Yeah.
and has things that he's going to stand up for. I may not pronounce this. Richard Keel.
Oh, yeah, I got him. Yeah. Yeah. Richard
He's the
Kiel, that's one of
Bond villain.
mine. Yeah.
7'2". Looks like a walking, talking Frankenstein, and just I mean,
Played Jaws in 2 James Bond movies. The only villain to ever pop up twice in James
that's
Bond
right.
movies,
That's
other
right.
than Blofeld, of course. But
Right. Right.
the only hired thug guy or whatever. But he also had a good funny role in Happy Gilmore. Where Happy accidentally shot a nail into the side of his head. And he beat the crap out of Happy, and. But then,
Hey, what
he
about
became a golfer. He started following him around.
you've already mentioned? I think you've already mentioned him already. Steve Buscemi. Steve
Buscemi, yeah.
Buscemi.
Buscemi,
Buscemi.
yeah.
Semi. Buscemi.
Yeah. Yeah,
Steve Buscemi.
he was a lead on that show. It was an HBO show where he was, I can remember his character's name, Nucky. And what was it? He was set like, when they first had Prohibition,
Yeah.
the mobsters were
What is that?
obviously very excited about
Boardwalk
Prohibition.
Empire. Boardwalk Empire.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. And he
was
was
very cool and very good in that
he
show.
was a lead character in that. Yeah. And of course, Buscemi is known. By the way, he pronounces it Buscemi.
Yeah.
But he also has discussed his name before with people, and he recognizes the pronunciation Buscemi. There are people with that same last name that pronounce it Buscemi, and he will not correct you if you call him Steve Buscemi, but he says Buscemi or Buscemi. I think Semi is like an E with a little accent over it. But and Fargo, of course, is the one that I think everybody remembers.
Very
him from.
famously in Fargo.
The incompetent bad guy and that commits a crime that just reels out of control. But he is unique. He falls over into a category that's a pretty small category of actors that, of course, he's got unique looks. Some would call him ugly. I just call it unique. But his teeth are terrible. And he will not get them fixed. And I specifically looked it up. I'm like, are those his real teeth? Did he get them fixed and he just gets the fake ones in now when he does roll? Nope. He's never fixed his teeth. He's afraid. His quote, "I'm afraid I'll never work again if I get them fixed."
Yeah.
And he could be onto something.
It's so funny. He's like, he is in these really big movies and stuff, but since he and Adam Sandler are good friends because every single Adam Sandler movie, there's always some tiny part, and every time he pops up, he always apparently he can move one of his eyes really well to look where he's or he's got like a lazy eye, and he'll have that eye like looking somewhere over here, and he always like plays some crazy guy.
Well, isn't he like Adam Sandler's good luck charm?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's the role he plays for much of anything. And once again, I think I've got a picture of him somewhere. but I'm not going to pull my very awkward
Yeah, I'm like I said before we started, I'm gonna try to pull a few up and just kind
drop
of drop them in over
drop
the
some pics of
top
these
there
guys.
as we go along here, if I can get it to look decent.
I wanted to contrast these guys with who we're talking about. We're talking about people that would draw stares. These
Hmm.
actors, if they never went to Hollywood and got famous, they would draw stares because their
Oh,
look is so odd, so unique. What some people would call ugly. Steve Buscemi would walk into a McDonald's and draw stares from people. Trio would same thing.
yeah,
Jack Elam, same thing. We're not talking about William Macy,
yeah,
who is a character actor,
yeah,
who's not classically handsome, but he just looks like a regular
yeah.
dude. And
Yeah. You
there's
made me think of
hundreds of those.
somebody. I got to mention this guy real quick before we go very far because it's
Who?
perfect intro for him. When you were saying that, there's a guy I have on my list here. His name, you probably won't know who he is. You will maybe when I describe him. His name is Michael Berryman. He's been
Mm-hmm.
around for a long time, doing a lot of stuff. Um, he's most famous for being the creepy monster guy in the movie series The Hills Have Eyes.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And what's wrong with him? He has let's see, hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, which means is the absence of sweat glands, hair, and fingernails.
Wow.
So he is
That's
like completely bald, and he's got this really huge head, and his ears even come out and come over, and they have points on them. I mean, he looks like a you see, as soon as you'll have to look him up, or I'll drop him in. You can see it.
right.
As soon as you see him, you'll go, "Oh, okay."
No, exactly who
I
that
remember
is.
that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's a
and
place
he
for him.
needs no makeup. He.
Boy, you hope that
Yeah,
AI doesn't replace actors like this,
yeah,
because you could. It's possible. I mean, I'm sure when you're ready to make a movie or cast a TV series or cast a special, there's lines out the door of these handsome guys, and maybe a lot of
yeah,
them can act. I kind of doubt it,
yeah.
because if they could all act, you wouldn't have so many terrifically bad actors on soap operas. Some of the worst male actors. The female
Oh
actors all
yeah,
seem to be
on the
pretty good, but
planet.
the guys are awful on soap. But
Yeah,
you've got these guys out the door, and it would be real easy to just run them through a little AI and put some scars on their faces and move their teeth around, and say, hey, here's a role for you if you want to
yeah,
get your teeth into it, or get your tooth into it, because we're going to give you, two teeth, and that's all we're going to do. And we're going to have a big scar down this side, and you're going to have a double chin, but you'll get a credit. Oh, okay. And that may happen. And if that happens, I'd hate to see it, because people with that have gone through a few things because of the way they look should get a chance to go, and still have confidence, should get a chance to go
yeah.
out to make a movie or a TV series. Ron, I've got a song of the week. Do you have one?
I just thought of one.
What?
I can even play it,
What is it?
and I'll have somebody that should have been on my list introduce it.
Who?
the the Adams Family theme song.
Lurk. Yeah, that's a, was that ever released as a single or anything?
Only one I ever heard was what was his name? That did MC Hammer did a version, a hip hop type version for the
Yeah,
Adams Family movie.
yeah. The one I got, I went more conventional. The one I have, you probably remember this great song by Janice Ian
Yeah.
called "At 17."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I know.
released in 1975, went to number 3 in the country. It was written by Janice Ian. It was from the Between the Lines album, which is a great album, by the way. And she won the Grammy for the best pop vocal that season, or that year, 1975, for that. And it's just a song about somebody that just doesn't fit in. And I think that's what these actors we've been talking about tonight embody. They represent people that don't quite fit in. They exist around the perimeter around the edges of you know, normal life, and they're criminals. They portray criminals a lot of times, but not always. But they do give that point of view of that strange character that's trying to get by. You go back to Gabby Hayes, and I don't know if he mentioned him, Andy Devine, and
Yeah.
that voice, Andy Devine, just look out, Roy, I'm not sure we can do this, and you know, those guys don't. They got to find a place to fit in, and that's what that song is about. Somebody looking for a way to fit in, and not doing a very good job of it as a young person. I'm sure, you know, a lot of young people that don't fit in. That as they get older, they figure out a way. But that's the song I picked for the song of the week.
Reggie
So
Wood wrote a great song
yeah.
in that genre called "I'm Different." It's really good. I'm different and don't care who knows it.
Well, you were talking about Creep not too long ago, and
Yeah.
that one was falling into that category too.
Yeah, for sure.
Any final people you want to sneak in there, or something?
Well, I'll you know, I did Lurch's voice for that. That was the famous Ted Cassidy,
Yeah.
who also played Bigfoot one time on the $6 Million Man. A couple of times after Andre the Giant famously did it the first time, and then didn't do it anymore, and Ted Cassidy took it over. And actually, Ted Cassidy was originally the first. I think it was Ted Cassidy. Was the original Hulk. And if you look real close on the starting of the Hulk, you can see him for just a second.
Oh wow!
In the makeup, but he was a little too skinny, so that's how they ended up with Ferrigno.
Ferrigno, okay.
Because he had the height, he just didn't have the build, So
at least what we've done here on Boomer Bongo Boulevard, we have tipped our hat to these actors that don't have those conventional good looks and are not the everyman either. They're playing those characters that everybody remembers. I mean, because of the actor, and not too many actors can say that. Even the ones that make a living doing it, they're supporting actors, but man, they really lend a big time support.